Let's move on to question number 4. This one's also interesting as well. I'm seeking advice for my 10-year-old son with ASD and selective mutism. He's bright, close to his younger brother, and has strong language skills, but struggles with social anxiety. Sertraline has helped him become more talkative and engaged. He participates more at school and has friends who find him funny. However, he still feels anxious in certain situations like drop off and walking across the schoolyard. He often isolates himself. Any advice on helping him continue to build social confidence? And just want to make a quick note that sertraline is a medication.
Yes, I was just going to say sertraline is an SSRI. Zoloft is the pharmaceutical name for that. And then sertraline is the generic term. So the child is on medication. So the child has autism spectrum disorder, ASD, and SM. One of the hallmarks of ASD is social uncomfortableness. How's that sound? So maybe he's funny and he's getting laughs from his friends, but most individuals with autism have a difficult time with the social puzzle, as I say, and that causes them some
Mhm.
anxiety, some stress, causes anxiety and stress versus the typical social anxiety that we see that once they're comfortable, kids can do more and are more comfortable with their peers. Kids on the spectrum have a more difficult time with that social interaction and they have a harder time understanding the social cues. And in the morning, walking in is probably where kids are hanging out, kind of gathering with their friends, and he may not feel a role there. He can maybe a class clown and get a lot of laughs in class because that's a very kind of set, structured situation. They're in class, they're sitting in their seat, or they're doing something. But walking in, he may not feel connected. I will say that having ASD or not, most individuals that I work with selective mutism, anxiety, having that anxiety, they like to feel, I keep saying it over and over, but control. They like to know what, when, where, and how. And that gives them that sense of control. And so for this child, again, not necessarily related to ASD, but more of the anxiety component of having kind of like a path, not literally a physical path, but kind of maybe a teacher meets them and then they walk in, or the parent, takes them to a certain spot so that the child knows. Sometimes walking into a classroom is hard. So having a set activity that they would do as soon as they get there. So like we have kids that have centers in the morning. So the child knows they get into the room, the teacher says, hey, choose one of the centers or directs them to a center so that the child has a purpose there rather than having to socialize. Because that is the overwhelming challenge for kids on with ASD is it's not just building comfort, it's the social puzzle that's very uncomfortable for them and gives them a lot of anxiety and causes a lot of avoidance. And so if walking in is giving that child the sense of anxiety and not feeling secure, we need to work from that standpoint of helping that child feel more secure walking in and knowing what, when, and where. And sometimes it's drawing it out. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
knowing what their path is. It's making sure the teachers are aware. And that's something that we can adapt in their IEP.
Yeah, it seems like these moments that are a little bit less controllable for the child is giving them stress. Like, obviously you go through the school day, you go to class. There's it's almost like more controllable. You just kind of know what to expect, and then you get in these sort of like open-ended environments like drop off where there's like a million things can happen, and it's like you just don't know. You can't really. It's hard to. It's like overwhelming. It's contaminated.
So think about it, a 10-year-old child, right? Kids they're not 5 where they're being walked in, dropped off, playing Play-Doh, going in the housekeeping area, drawing, whatever they're doing. They're 5 or 6. This child's 10. They're social. He has autism spectrum disorder, right? So now he's walking in, either coming off the bus or the parents are doing drop off, and the kids are hanging out, they're laughing, they're playing ball, they're talking about things that are going on. He probably doesn't feel comfortable in the social nuance aspect of this and conversation starters and what to do, how to do it. And the social puzzle causes him stress. So that to me is probably the underlying theme. But then to work on that kind of walk in process to give him that sense of control is what I recommend.